every other Friday. We have a Froggy Friday, the full realization of God. Reverend Gwen and I are so excited because we've got a lot of goodness happening for you this morning. We have Reverend Kathryn in the house. Everybody. And we have Flaminia going to shine her light. We are so grateful that everybody is here. And we're going to open up as we do all things. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to sing One People. And then Flaminia, you're going to open us up with treatment, okay? Right after we do One People. Just giving you a little clue of what's happening. Gwen, I'll take the first verse. You take the second?
Yep.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Take it away, Gwen.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one.
Do a key change. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Everyone, when it's all said and done, we are one. Ladies and gentlemen, right from where you are, this is Flaminia to shine her light and set that tonal intention for our morning, evening.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you so much, Gwen, for inviting me. So we are here together on this Friday. So many things happened during the week. We've been busy, work, families, doing things, daily life. So let's be here together to settle, to reconnect. And let's close our eyes. And let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Feeling comfortable here and now in our chair. And join with me. Join with me as I know that there is only one power, one energy, one source, one light, one eternal cosmic source of life. The only power that is. The power that gives life to everything, anything. It is all that is. It is the source. It expands constantly and it is everywhere, in all places, at all times. It creates out of love. It knows itself through its own creation. It is joy, it is light. It is the infinite source. It is perfect and bright. It is magnificent. It is the only truth that is in all things. It is in all of its own creation. And yet it doesn't get involved in its own creation. It gets to know itself in its own creation. It reflects its own power, its own strength, its own love. And as I know that this energy, this source, this love is all there is, I know that it is all that I've ever been, all that I am right now, and all that I will always be. It is in my body, in my cells, in my breath. It is in my mind, in my source, in my spirit. It is me, through me, as me. And as this infinite energy is balanced and right and bright, so I am light. I am bright. I am perfect. It is in me, it is as me, and I am it. Is one. And as I know this for myself, I know this for every one of us. Every one of us who is in this call, every one of us who is right there out of our doors, our neighbors, the people that we meet every day in the streets, the people we work with, the people we talk to, our families, our friends, our enemies, we are one. And there is no good, no bad, we are just one. And with this knowledge, I speak my word. And I claim for myself and for this community the joy of life, the joy of living, the joy of knowing this unity. When we talk to anyone, when we live any experience, we just know awareness, we just know love, we just know perfection. We are excited, we shine our light. And in this knowledge, shining our light, we make everything bright. We talk, we touch, we breathe. And all is just light, all is just perfection. We know this. And everyone who is around us, everyone who is with us can breathe it, can feel it. And we are surrounded in this golden bubble every day. We walk, we talk, we breathe, and we express this beautiful energy. We express this golden light that shines bright, that illuminates everything that is. There is no good, no bad, just perfection, just the essence. And I am so grateful for this awareness. I am so grateful for this path of awareness. I am so grateful for waking up in the morning, walking, talking, breathing, and feeling the truth, remembering the truth every day, every moment. It feels good. It feels good in my heart. It feels good in my body. It feels good in the air. It feels good all around me. It feels good all around us. And so I release my word into the law, knowing that this perfection is already done, is already everything that is. And so I release it, I let it go, I let it flow, I let it live, I let it flow. I say thank you, and so it is.
Thank you, Flaminia.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
guys. We're about to get started with our incredible guest speaker today. I want to introduce to you Kathryn, Reverend Kathryn Cardinal. She is vital, as I said, in our Kenyan community and beyond. She is such a bright light. There are so many behind the scene things that she does that you might not even know that you're aware of that allows us to continue to do what we do. She is brilliant beyond. She knows her teaching this science of mind. She understands principle. She lays it out clearly. She is brilliant. She is beautiful. She is a star in my light and Gwen's light. It is my joy to introduce to you and share our Zoom stage with the one, the only Reverend Kathryn Cardinal.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Gwen and Reverend Barb. What a beautiful introduction. You are my newest soul sisters, and just allowing me to share this journey with you is really brilliant. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm so delighted to see many of you, and often I'm otherwise engaged on Friday evenings for you or Friday mornings for me. And interestingly enough, just a few days ago, Reverend Barb and Reverend Gwen and I were chatting, and they said, "Oh, we might like you to do a Friday sometime." I said, "Well, as it turns out, I'm off on Friday." So there you go, bada bing, bada boom, and here I am. And it's my delight to be here. I'm also delighted to be able to honor and do a shout out to one of our ministerial students, Wilkester, who isn't with us at the moment. She honored Eid yesterday, which is the end of Ramadan. And I know that you would have many friends and maybe even family members that practice the practices of Islam. And coming to the end of the holy month of Ramadan is a special time for people in my community here that I know do the fasting for the 29 days. And then Eid is such a special day to come to the end of that experience. And one of the great things about Science of Mind is that we honor all paths. And so by learning about other people's faiths and cultures, and understanding and seeing what the grand truth is behind all of them, which is that there is one power, there is one God, and each of us comes to it on many different paths, gives us the opportunity to be able to honor and celebrate with our brothers and sisters of other faiths. So I just want, if any of you come from that faith tradition, I do want to honor you and your Eid celebration that happened just yesterday. So at least in Canada it was yesterday, and I'm sure that the lunar map and timing works out to be all the same. So I hope I haven't messed that up. I'm curious how many of you have been wondering what KISS stands for. Is it? Yes, I can see a few people wondering. Some people might know, some people maybe have studied. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, is this idea of KISS. And KISS, as K-I-S-S, we all know our regular kisses, and we probably are missing some of that, those people that are social distancing from grandchildren or other loved ones that are far away and we can't go travel to see them. We're probably missing that very physical idea of kissing. This is a different idea. It's the acronym of K-I-S-S. And anyone that maybe has done design or process work maybe has come across it in your studies. It started in the 1960s as an idea in the military, actually, about keeping it simple. Keep it simple. And the second S has morphed many times over the years. It started as simple and straightforward. It then became things like people would joke around and say, keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, sweetheart. Sometimes keep it simple, soldier or sailor, depending on which part of the military you were part of. But it was the idea of creating and having design that was simple. Sometimes we add so much complexity to our lives or our processes if we're in business, that we overcomplicate things. Our minds try to overcomplicate things sometimes. So it became more popular in the 1970s and became part of lots of people would say it a lot, kind of as a bit of a joke. But the idea was that if systems would be best if they were kept simple rather than made complicated. And so the goal in design, and I think it's Brian, our architect, he probably knows this as well. Our goal in design often is that simplicity can be key and that unnecessary complexity be avoided. So the question is, what does that mean to us? What does that mean to us on a Froggy Friday day? What does that mean in our spiritual life? What does that mean in our philosophical life? Well, Ernest Holmes, although I wonder when I look at the textbook sometimes, But Ernest Holmes was known for trying to simplify this idea of God, spirit, whatever we try to call it, and to simplify many of the world's traditions into some basic principles and practices. So it always makes me giggle a little bit after he's written, you know, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 paragraphs of something that seems a little bit complicated. And then he goes, and I see people laughing because it's true. The Science of Mind book is like that, isn't it? And then he says, to simplify. And usually he then summarizes it in a line or 2. And so that is really what the Science of Mind is about simplifying spiritual practices and principles to create change and experience in our own lives. So where can we do that? I hope that's not too loud for you. I couldn't get the noise outside to stop. So let's think about this a little bit. Simplification in business, in our lives. Let's think about our cell phones, for example, and our computers. Computers have become simpler and simpler over time based on this idea of keeping it simple and straightforward. Steve Jobs, who created the iPhone, and the iPhone is so simple that children can figure it out on their own, which can be dangerous when you give your phone to your child to play with, because they figure things out and they can get into places where, because they're playing, they can find games as young as 3 and 4 years old because of this principle of simplicity. So Stephen Jobs, who is the founder of Apple, said, simple can be actually harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. Now, isn't that interesting? He's not talking about phones and computing in that case. He's talking about our thinking. I'll say it again. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. That's what Ernest Holmes really wanted to do with our Science of Mind teaching. And it has been said that our teaching, Science of Mind, is simple, but not always easy. It's simple in its philosophy. There's some basic principles, but the piece that is harder for us sometimes as human beings, because we want to make it complex, because we have this innate nature to do so, is to allow it to be simple. Allow it to be simple. And the piece that's hard is to do our practices. Sometimes that can be the part that isn't easy for us, to build the discipline, to create space in our experience, to allow this simple teaching to be fully present in our experience of life. So what are some of the principles? Some of the principles that Ernest talks about actually in the Science of Mind textbook are really come from the Bible. It is done unto you as you believe. The universe and I are one. The truth, know the truth, learn the truth, before the truth will set you free. And there is a power greater in our life. There's a power in the universe greater. There's a great power in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. So the question is, how do we use it? How do we make this space for these practices in our experience of life? We have practices of visualization, of visioning, of journaling, and our most fundamental practice, spiritual mind treatment. And Ernest Holmes really simplified that as well into 5 or 7 steps, but gave us a formula on how to use treatment, prayer in our experience so that we could have very specific, observable results. That is the simplicity of our Science of Mind. So my question is, are you seeing results? What results are you seeing in your experience? What are you seeing as results of your treatment, of learning and remembering and knowing these principles? What are the results showing up in our life? Have you taken a moment to reflect upon how your life compares today from a year ago, or 5 years ago, or even 10 weeks ago, if you were one of our new students in one of our more recent classes? Because it can happen that fast. Our lives change because of the simplicity of this teaching, as long as we put it into practice. So our Centers for Spiritual Living teaches us the principles to be able to allow ourselves to live in peace and love and joy and harmony and wholeness in our experiences, in our lives, and in our communities. We teach these principles to be in harmony with spiritual laws and to create our lives as we would desire them. So the model for our centers is the same. And we teach self-reliance. And our goal for our centers to be self-reliant as well. So what does that mean to be self-reliant? It's that we're reliant upon our community. So in our own lives, we're reliant upon ourselves and our connection with the One and our family community, but ultimately ourselves. And in our spiritual community, we are reliant on all of us, ourselves, and our spiritual community to ensure that our center is whole and healthy and peaceful. So as many of you know, that our vision is for this Center for Spiritual Living Kenya, to be self-reliant in 5 to 7 years. So what does that look like for my community in Edmonton? Self-reliance means that we are reliant on our community members to provide donations from our Sunday services. So that would equivalent to that would be Froggy Friday. We are reliant on our community members to help us with fundraising. And we are reliant on our community members to support the classes that they are taking because they are getting value for it. My minister, Reverend Tim Peterson, one of my mentors, often says there's spiritual coin for anything that we learn. So that's time or energy, sometimes it's money, and there is always some kind of give and take in any and every interaction, including us learning about our spiritual principles. So, question is, where do we spend our time and money? What do we value? What do we say we value? Are we valuing that which we are receiving? Do I value the time that I spend in my spiritual practices? Do I value the opportunity to come together in community? These are some of the questions that we can ask. Now, how else does simplicity show up in our lives? Simplicity can also show up by asking ourselves meaningful questions. Questions that cause us to ponder, reflect, think, be aware, deepen our consciousness, open ourselves up to new ideas. Here are some questions maybe to ask ourselves in this moment around creating a life of simplicity for ourselves. Are the activities in my life meaningful? It's important to give it some thought. And those things that maybe aren't as meaningful, maybe we have the opportunity to let them go. Where can I create more with less? More space in my experience, more time? How can I live more in the now, the present moment? That allows us to be fully present. And when we're fully present, it allows us to tap into that oneness that is within, that allows us to have that experience of peacefulness and knowingness. Because in this moment, I know that all is well. What can I let go of? What is no longer serving me? That's one of my goals today after I'm done this, is I have a garage of some things that have gathered over the winter that really need to go to our eco station to be either reused or taken apart and reused in a different way, but so that they are no longer kind of causing my experience to be one of, ugh, every time I see this pile of junk I need to get rid of. What can I no longer serve? Now that's very physical. But sometimes there's mental things in our experience as well that we need to let go of. How and when can I unplug from my phone or technology to simplify my life? Maybe social media. Maybe I just need to limit my amount of time. And then asking the questions, what's really important to me? And what do I value? Where do I spend my time? Ernest Holmes really synthesized our principles and our practices for us. And that, I think, is what allows this timeless philosophy to continue and to expand and to grow, and to have it be as international as it is, because it is absolutely universal. It touches something within us. We recognize something when we hear that truth, that there's a power greater in my life, and I can use it. And then we prove it to ourselves when we do use it, and things start to show up. I've been doing some reading lately of some of the more historical people that contributed to New Thought. And one of the people I'm reading about right now, and this is deepening my consciousness of where we've come from to be today. So one of the people I'm reading about right now, his name is Neville, and he would have been practicing and speaking on the metaphysical circuit a little bit earlier, or almost the same time as Ernest Holmes. And he really talked about this idea of our imagination, and that God and our imagination are one. And he taught the principle and spoke to many, many people across the United States in the 1920s and 30s, I might have my dates off, about tapping into our imagination to allow it to create experiences in our life and to really get into that feeling mode. So if we were thinking about maybe climbing a tree, let me use that example, so that I actually feel, when I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, I actually feel myself holding the different branches of the tree, that I can feel that pressure on my hands. And that helps to deepen that conscious connection with this vision we've created for ourselves and self in our life. That really is what Ernest Holmes talks about when he's talking about getting into that feeling aspect of our treatment, because we're so much more likely to create for ourselves those things we are passionate about, whether it's something that we really want or something that we actually don't want, because aren't we often very passionate about those things that we don't want? We need to give that same passion to those things that we do want in our experience of life. So I know that all of us and all of you are using this teaching very much in your experience. I hear that from the various teachers and the reports that we get and the demonstrations that are showing up in all of our lives. And I know that you value this teaching. So I appreciate that very, very much. I want to just remind us again, once more, of some of the basic, simple principles that Ernest Holmes talks about. Know the truth, for the truth will set you free. It is done unto us as we believe. The universe and I are one. These are fundamental for us. And there is a power in the universe that we can use. So let's all commit to using it today, fully, completely, wholly in our life. And I've got a new word for KISS. Let's kiss. Let's keep it simply spiritual. And so it is.
Oh, I love that. Simply spiritual. Oh, Reverend
Yes.
Kathryn. Yes. Woo. Oh,
Yay.
that
Thank
feels
you.
good. I've got God
Thank you.
bumps. I've got God bumps. Reverend Gwen, are you ready to sing a song?
Absolutely. Let's top this off. Keep the energy going. Just like Kathryn and Flaminia and Rahima are going to shine their light. Barb shines their light today. I want each and every one of you to sing this song, because we all have the light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Reverend Barb.
Well, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, said I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, I got to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Go, baby.
All around the world, including Kenya, I'm gonna let it shine, shine, shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine,
Let me see your
let
hands in the
it
air.
shine. Ooh, that just keeps that juices flowing and keeps the energy up and vibrating after that inspirational talk. Thank you. Keep it simply spiritually. Beautiful, beautiful.
Gwen, do you want to introduce our Rahema?
Oh, it'd be my honor. Where is she? You're going to have to turn your camera on, girl. There she is. So Rahima has been a student of Science of Mind for a few years. Her and her daughters have brought it into their household and their family in such a way that dad had to join classes to find out what the heck was all this talk in their house. And she's a beautiful, fierce spiritual warrior. And she is on our board of trustees in Kenya, and we really appreciate all that she does for this center. So please welcome Rahima. She's going to give us a 5-minute power talk. Welcome her. Yay!
Thank you so much. Let me just put the timer on. Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. I think this is the second time I've been on Froggy Friday. My house on Friday is usually a different place, but today, and I think I want to make it a habit. I will be attending the Froggy Friday. So let me just go into what I have for today. So my name is Rahema. I've been with the Science of Mind since 2019, and I'm an aspiring practitioner. And actually, getting into Science of Mind was like an answered prayer, because when I was seeking and I was wondering, where do I get this structured way of understanding what all this is? A friend of mine called me and she told me, there's a lady who comes to Kenya every other time, and there's something called the Science of Mind, and I would like you to attend and see whether it's something that could catch your interest. And when I went to the website and checked the Science of Mind, I realized that it's actually what I've been looking for, because we don't have such organizations in Kenya. And I believe that because we are all connected and because God works in mysterious ways, I would say that, it aligned when I was seeking. It aligned with when Connie was coming back to Kenya. So I started my classes, and I've taken quite a few classes. And the most interesting is the ones that I'm almost completing on treatment and meditation, which it's really been eye-opening. But just a few things that I've learned in Science of Mind. There's one thing that Connie used to say, and I always catch myself when I'm about to say, try. Connie would tell us in class, stop trying, just do it. And that is the same thing that happened when when I was told, can you do the 5-minute power talk? I was like, yes, even though I didn't know where to start and how it's going to be. But yes, she taught me to just go ahead and do. Stop trying. If Spirit is leading you to do ABCD, just go ahead and do it. So that is something that I've really been putting in my life. And the other thing I've learned is to be the light. I know that we cannot convert everyone. It can always start with me. How can I be a light in such a way that the person next to me would want to know, why are you the way that you are? And then that would be a chance for me to explain. I am in the science of mind. I'm following the teachings of science of mind. So it's things are always aligning in our favor. And when we become the light, we'll always attract people who've been placed by God in such a place that we can attract them to find out what can we do with our lives? How can I be the same way you are? Or how can I have my life turn out the same way that your life is turning out? So the other thing would be embodying the teachings that we've been taught. All these classes that we are attending, I've personally taken it upon myself to embody those teachings, to have them in my daily routines, to make a habit out of all the concepts that I've been taught in class. And just the way that we say Jesus is the great example, I would want to be an example because I'm embodying those teachings that are being taught in class. And embodying also means applying. And I'm very happy that Reverend Kathryn was talking about what she was talking about, because in the morning when I was wondering, what am I going to say? That time I was asleep. What am I going to say? And then all these thoughts are coming into my mind. And then Reverend Kathryn is talking about the same things. And I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, we are connected. So that is how it is. And it's putting the Bible says, test and see the goodness of God. And I think that is what is the most important. Put everything that you're being taught into test. And when you put them in test, you will find that you're building your faith. And when you're building your faith, of course, you're going to have other things come into your life. And you're like, let me try this one. And you put a test and you see marvelous things happening in your life. And I think that's what it's all about. So in all that, I think you've heard that my whole family is in science of mind. And it's because, of course, they wanted to see what exactly is happening. Why is she always going to class? Maybe why is our mindset changing? So that is something that I would like to encourage everyone. I would like to encourage you to get your little ones into the teachings of the science of mind, because we do underestimate the value of changing the mindset of children when they're still growing up, because that is something, if there's something that I would really regret, is not having known these teachings when I was growing up, because until you get to a place where you can learn these teachings, you're always seeking, and you're seeking from so many places, and you're not having a structured way of changing your mindset. So I would say that if you teach them young, then you'll have no problems in future. So I would just say that let's be the great examples. Let's put all these teachings in our lives, and let the people around us be affected by the light that we're going to be giving out. So yes, that's all I have for that talk.
Thank you, Rahima.
What a
Don't
beautiful
you love how it
demonstration.
works? One mind, Kathryn's talk and the song, and then what you had to say about shining your light. Beautiful.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask all of you to unmute. I'm going to ask Reverend Kathryn to read the affirmation, one affirmation, and we will repeat it after her. I know that it's everyone talking at once, but it's so much beautiful energy coming to us. I'll share the screen. Reverend Kathryn, you read them one at a time, and we'll jump in.
Thank you. The universe is one, and I am one with it.
The
The
universe
universe
is
is one,
and I am one
I
with
am
it.
one with
One
it.
with it.
There is a power in the universe greater than I am, and I use it.
There is
There is a
power in
power
the
in the
universe
universe greater than I am,
Greater than I am,
I use
and
it.
I use it. I am living my life in peace, love, joy, abundance, wholeness, and harmony now. I am
living my life in
peace,
love,
love,
joy,
joy,
abundance,
abundance, wholeness,
harmony
now.
harmony
Harmony
now.
now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
it is.
So it
So
is.
it is.
Isn't it? Wow. Okay, listen. Let's open the floor up to questions of Reverend Kathryn. What came up for you during this time? Let's share. Does anybody have anything to say? I see the Duke posted to everybody. Glad to listen to Reverend Kathryn. This has opened my higher power of what is really important to me and where I'm supposed to spend most of my time in spiritual relationship with the higher power of consciousness. Thank you, Reverend Kathryn. That's from Duke. That's beautiful. Thank you, Duke.
Thank you.
Anybody? Did something come up?
Maybe I can just say one more thing that really caught my attention when Reverend Kathryn was talking about KISS. It's about feeling, bringing in feeling as part of your whole spiritual practice. And that is something that I've realized really helps in getting things rolling, because if the feeling, the emotion is not there, then you'll just be saying things and they will your mind is not feeling that it's really convinced that this is where you want to be. But when you bring feeling into it, you start putting yourself in that place where it's like it's already done, because you're saying it's already done in the mind of the one. So that part of feeling really, really excited me, because I know that is really true.
True. Couldn't you feel when Reverend Kathryn talked about climbing the branches? Couldn't you feel them on your hands? You know, I could feel it. I could imagine it. And that's what we say in this teaching. Thought plus feeling equals manifestation. That's the link. You're right, Rahima. You're right. Thank you.
My new sticky note. It's gonna be all over my house reminding me.
Hello.
There we go. Yes.
Oh, Duke's notes. That's a full map. That's a spiritual map. Keep it simply spiritual. Love it. Love it. Anybody else?
Duke's got a
Yes.
question. He's got his hand up.
I am. So hi, I'm here. It's Alfred. I wanted to add something.
Hi, Alfred.
Hi. So I wanted to share, but you not give me a chance because you told me last time I was supposed, but it's okay. So I want to add something of what Reverend Kathryn said. I think it's an inspiring sensation that he has talked about simplicity. I was thinking of this one. Take a glass of water, just put and take a glass of water, you put either some, take an example of a soda. So if you put that soda and you start adding water one by one, that color will dissipate away. So for me to make my life more simpler, I have to permit anything, or to, how can I say, I'm just thinking, to refuse to permit anything unlovely to enter in my consciousness. Secondly, for me to make my life more simpler, I have to learn to live in joy, in peace, and in calm confidence. Again, I have to put, for me to live my life in more simpler, I have to to put my own trust, faith, and confidence in God. And again, what I thought for me to live my life more simpler is to think with clarity, move with ease, and accomplish all that I need without a strain. Thank you so much. That's what I wanted to share with you.
That's a
Alfred,
great.
thank you. Sorry.
No, go ahead,
So-
Reverend Kathryn.
I just think that was brilliant, Alfred. Thank you for sharing.
We've got Duke first. We got Duke first, then I think Nancy, then Patrick. Duke.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, as Reverend Kathryn was speaking, so many things came to my mind, and I started seeing myself from a different angle, and using this KISS, whatever, keep it simple or keep it simpler or straightforward. I want to share only one thing which came into my mind and awakened me that there's somewhere maybe I was trying to go a little bit wrong. Sometimes as men, mostly in Africa, your wife can ask you to, maybe your wife can ask you, do you have some money? We buy some salt, some sugar. Then man said, no, I don't have money. Don't have any money. But in your pocket, your inner pocket, there is some few coins of which you could have given out to buy that sugar. Then your wife may struggle from another point to bring sugar home, but it brings somehow, it is disturbing somehow. Why couldn't I share this? Why could I keep it simple and straightforward that I have some few coins that I could give you? Then that one came into my mind, and I saw myself that there's somewhere maybe I might have gone wrong in a way. And I want to thank Reverend Kathryn for sharing this, and I know it will make some great change in my life through that class. Yeah, it is a very, very nice class. And I want to share Brother Michael called me in some few minutes before I could enter into this session, into Frog Friday, and he told me that he couldn't be able to join because he doesn't have power. He was struggling to find power at home. So he sent his greetings, his love to everyone. He loves all of you, and he couldn't be able to join because of power, because of electricity. So I'm glad to share his greetings to you all.
Thank you, Duke.
Thank you, Duke. Blessings back to him as
Thank you,
well.
Duke.
Thank you, friend.
And we're sending lots of love to your house and your family.
Oh, sorry. Dawn is doing well. She has improved, and she's doing well. She can smile. She can smile. She can be able to eat. She can be able to suck. And thank you so much for those who prayed. I did not share this to everyone, but I know the Spirit was all within us, and I thank you all. My daughter Dawn got burnt. She pulled some hot soup from the cup, and then that soup poured on her left side of the stomach and the thigh. We tried to take her to the hospital. God has really worked on. Thank you, Reverend Gwen, Reverend Barbara, for praying and making some treatment for me and for the family, and even Sister Michelle. Thank you, all of you. Kathryn, I did not share it to you, but I'm sorry, I was confused. I could not be able to share with everyone, but God has worked really well, and thank you so much.
Yep, no apology necessary at all.
You know, that little baby's my namesake, Duke. She's named after me. Nancy, did you want to share?
Where'd she go?
Here she is.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hi.
Hi. So sorry, Duke, about that, keeping you in prayer. I wanted to talk about one of the spiritual practices that I find very useful in keeping it simple, and that is meditation. In the quietness of meditation, when you're deeply into it, you can really find the simplicity in that practice. Yeah, all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. In
Nancy,
treatment
I can't believe I didn't put it on the list. I'm sorry. That's one of our fundamental practices. It's so much a part of it, I forgot.
So much, I didn't even pick it up. That's our
Nancy,
students for us.
thank
They're
you.
sharp. They're sharp. In treatment and meditation class, we talked about walking meditations. Like you can walk and do a meditation. And today, that's exactly what I did in this beautiful weather. I couldn't have felt more closer to God just walking along and being in all that beauty. So yes, meditation in all forms is one of our great simplistic ways of living. There was somebody else. Patrick, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much, Kathryn. Maybe you might remember me.
I do.
Good. Because we met, you're one of the first people I met, and I introduced myself. I was still very new. That was my first time at the conference. So it's very exciting to see you and listen to you.
Thank you.
About KISS, I trained professionally as a journalist. And while I was still learning the ropes, my trainer used to tell me about KISS. But it would be, when you write very difficult paragraph, he used to say KISS, but it would be, keep it simple, stupid. So when you are mentioning the acronym of KISS and you mentioned various others, I was waiting to hear, the nearest you came was silly. But then eventually you gave us spiritual.
Okay.
And
okay,
thinking
go ahead.
and thinking about simplicity. We realize that we kind of complicate life. Nature is very simple. You look at the trees, you look at the grass, the way they grow, they don't make a lot of noise. The clouds as they move, maybe the thunderstorm makes a lot of noise, but everything is graciously slow and simple. It's only when man tries to come into the way and we complicate things. And thinking about our nature, when we were overwhelmed, maybe a lot of things happening, and like Nancy, we may not be remembering about meditation. But all we know is that if you take a deep breath and relax, it's a very simple process, and everything starts falling into place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Yes,
And
I remember
remember-
meeting you first day.
We all remember Patrick. He was right in the front row singing and dancing.
And remember, stupid comes from the word stupor. It means we are asleep. And we are here to awaken humanity to its magnificence. So we will take the stupid and the people in the stupor, and we're awakening them. There you go.
That's everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have we all had a good morning/evening?
Yay.
Are you inspired by the one and only Reverend Kathryn?
Yes.
Yes. Do we want her to come back? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so here's what Gwen and I want you to know. We want you to know that next Friday, Gwen will be posting a blog, and I posted one last Friday. And then the next Froggy Friday is at the end of the month. I think it's the 30th or 28th or something.
28th.
28th. We have Reverend Gwen in the house delivering that talk. I'll be there with her supporting. And as always, we thank Reverend Pat Davies for coming to shine her light, and Reverend Claire in the house. And we are so grateful for Rahema and Flaminia to just shine their light so bright. If you feel inspired to contribute to us, you can do so via our webpage, our website, on Facebook. You can connect with us and you can make donations to us. We are open to receive. It all comes back into each and every one of us because we are in that flow and we are one. So I invite you to go and shine the light and be the light and share the blessings that you all are. Thank you for joining us so much. We love you. We love you. We love you. We'll see you next time. Bless you. Abundant blessings.
Bye.
Yay.
Good one, Kathryn. Good one, Kathryn.
Yes, we can also receive donations but via M-Pesa. Thank you, Kathryn. So beautiful. Oh, it was so nice. What a blessing to see you. Thank you, Kathryn. You just shone your light. Thank you, Rahema and Flaminia. Such a beautiful treatment. Thank you, Duke, for giving us the update. Christ, you know that you are special in that part.
Christ consciousness.
Consciousness. Bonnie, thank you all. Have an incredible day / weekend and evening. So
Yes.
long.
Always nice to see you, Musani. Flaminia, thank you, thank you.
Love you, Paul. Love
Bye
you.
for now, everyone.
Bye.